Hello everybody, welcome back. It's the last part of Neil Gaiman's Fortunately the Milk. I wanted to say hello to Sophia because I know that you've started watching the videos today. Good to see you there. Also, I want some recommendations please of what you'd like me to read next. So you can email me if you go onto the school website and go onto the Class 2 webpage, then my email address will be on there. Feel free to email me any recommendations of books you'd like me to read. Could be anything. And if I haven't got it, then I will order it from Amazon and get it delivered here so I can do it for you. Suppose we better carry on really from where we left off, which was where the green globby aliens had been persuaded not to redecorate our planet because Dad held both the milk from the current time in one hand and the milk from the past in the other. And if both those milks were to touch, then the universe would cease to exist. So they decided to go, and just as they'd agreed that, then the intergalactic police arrived, who turned out to be dinosaurs. All those dinosaurs that left our planet 150 million years ago had come back as intergalactic police. And there was something with a very long neck, with its body on the other side of the room. Do you know what dinosaur that is? Diplodocus or Diplodocus. The Diplodocus, in a police cap, opened its mouth and didn't say anything. The Tyrannosaurus, who had handcuffed all of the green globby people together with something that looked a lot more like pink string in a can than it looked like handcuffs, which was probably good because they probably didn't have hands and they definitely didn't have wrists. He looked at us and his eyes opened wide. "Great day in the morning," he exclaimed. "A biped! A stegosaurus, a floaty ball person carrier." And he stopped, as if unable to go on. A pteranodon flapped over to us, then landed on Professor Stegg's feet. It looked up at him, and then it said, hesitantly, could you be the inventor of Professor Stegg's pointy zooming into outer space machine, of Professor Stegg's really good moves around in time machine? And would you be the author of my travels into the extremely far future and what I found there, Professor Stegg, wisest of all dinosaur kind? Madam, is it truly you? "It is," said the Professor. "Madam?" I thought, embarrassed. Turns out Professor Stegg is a woman. Lots of people think because you're a professor you must be a man, but no, Professor Stegg is a woman. "And this is my assistant," said Professor Stegg. The pteranodon extended a wingtip for me to shake, and without thinking, I moved the second milk from my right hand to my left hand where the first milk was. Ah! Is the universe going to cease to exist? Everybody gasped. Unfortunately, the milk that had been in my right hand, which was the same as the milk that was already in my left hand, the same milk 15 minutes apart, touched each other. Like that. I held my breath. There was a fizzing noise and a mewing as if 100 kittens were being agitated in an enormous basket. Professor Stegg closed her eyes. "I can't look," she said. 3 purple dwarfs with flower pots on their heads appeared from nowhere and began to do a little dance. "Did the universe end?" said the Tyrannosaurus with its eyes tightly scrunched closed. "Look," I said, and we all watched the dwarfs dance. They weren't human and they weren't dinosaurs. They had purple skin and orange beards, and the flower pots on their heads had lots of flowers growing out of them. They did a complicated sort of dance with lots of leg kicking and shouts of "Ay! Ole!" and "Badong!" And then, as strangely as they'd come, they vanished. "Ah," said Professor Stegg, "it was always a possibility that this might happen. And fortunately, the universe has not ended." She pressed the button again with her tail, a small hole in space and time opened up. I was standing on the other side with a baffled expression on my face. "Catch!" I shouted, and threw the milk through the hole. As the portal closed, I saw me catch the milk using my stomach. The green globby aliens having been rounded up and taken away, all the space dinosaurs gathered around. "I can't believe it," said the Diplodocus. "Professor Stegg, just like in the comics, the dinosaur who taught us that in the far future, small mammals will eat their breakfast cereal with milk on it. Inventor of the button. She's here in front of us with her gorilla." Not a gorilla, but a human father. And all the other dinosaurs gasped and said things like, "How wise she is," and "What a brain," and "How can you tell the difference between that creature and a gorilla? Is it the shoes?" Professor Stegg said, "This human father has been my companion on my strange journey into the future. Now, before I take my leave of him and come with you, O space dinosaurs, we should sing to him one of our great old dinosaur songs." They sang me a song in 6-part harmony called "How Did You Feel This Morning When You Knew What You Did Last Night?" Then they sang me a song called "Don't Go Down to the Tar Pits, Dear, Because I'm Getting Stuck on You." The Galactic Police dinosaurs sang me a song about being galactic police and saving people all over the universe and driving very fast space bikes. And then they all sang a song called "I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Hard, Hairy, Wet, White Crunches," which was an ancient dinosaur song that had apparently been written by Professor Stegg's Aunt Button. "There is nothing in the whole of creation as beautiful as dinosaurs singing in harmony." "Now," said Professor Stegg, "I shall go off in my floaty ball person carrier with my newfound dinosaur space patrol friends, and I shall explore the universe, and then I shall return to my own time and write a book about it." "You actually wrote several books," said the Diplodocus. "Professor Stegg's Guide to Everything in the Whole of the Future was my favourite. It's very inspirational." I said goodbye to all the dinosaurs. I thanked Professor Stegg for saving my life. Oh, look, there's the cover of his book he writes. Professor Stegg's Guide to Everything in the Whole of the Future. I haven't seen that in the bookshelves. "Not at all," she said. "We were both fortunate that you had the milk with you. It's not every container of the milk that saves the world, you know." "That was me that saved the world," I said, "not the milk." The space dinosaurs all had their pictures taken holding the milk and smiling at the camera. "What are you going to do with the milk?" they asked me. "Are you going to put it into a museum?" "No, I am not," I told them. "I'm going to give it to my children for their breakfast cereal, and possibly I'll pour some into my cup of tea." Professor Stegg nipped back up the rope and climbed into the basket of her balloon. The last I saw of her, of any of them, the whole inside of the flying saucer was fading into light so bright I had to close my eyes and look away. And then I was standing at the back door of our house, none the worse for wear. Fortunately, the dinosaurs had given me back the milk after they had taken their photos with it. So I came in, and here I am. That was what my dad said. I looked at my sister, and my sister looked at me. Then we both looked around the kitchen, at the calendar on the wall with the hot air balloons on it, at my dinosaur models and my sister's ponies, at my sister's vampire books, and at the picture of a volcano I painted when I was little last year and which is still up on the wall by the fridge. We looked at those things, and then we looked at my dad. "You know, we don't believe any of this," said my sister. "We don't," I told him. "Not any of it. Especially not how you saved the world from being remodelled. Or the pirates. Not any of it," I said. My father shrugged. Suit yourselves, he said, but it was all true, and I can prove it. How? Yeah, how? Asked my little sister. Well, said my father, putting down on the kitchen table, here's the milk. And then he went back to reading his paper. But if you look, they found something on the bottom of the milk. Can you remember what that might be? There it is up close. It's very early on in the story. It was the Spanish doubloon that the pirate queen gave him. Right, I will see you again tomorrow with a new story. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.